Y'all are first graders. Okay, class, today we are going to learn the difference, or not the difference, we're going to learn what a prediction is as well as what summarizing a story is. So predictions are, you read a story and you stop maybe midway and you decide, or you make a prediction what is going to come up next. You think, oh, well, I think the story's going to go this way, or I think it's going to go this way, and there can be many predictions, and it's just kind of fun while you read along to make predictions, and it also helps you to be engaged the whole time that you're reading. So we're going to start with a story, and then we're going to talk, or actually let me tell you what summarizing is. So summarizing is you read a story and then say, like, one of my friends is like, oh, what's that book like? And I tell them shortly, just in a little short, sometimes they're paragraph form, you can verbally verbally summarize a story. And so what they're going to be is you're just going to read a story, I'm going to read a story to you, and then we're going to summarize it together, and then you're going to get in groups, and you guys are going to, well, we'll get there in a second. Okay, so this is the Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who left their mommy and daddy to see the world. All summer long, they roamed through the woods and over the plains, playing games and having fun. None were happier than the 3 little pigs, and they easily made friends with everyone. Wherever they went, they were given a warm welcome. But as summer drew to a close, they realized that folk were drifting back to their usual jobs and preparing for winter. Autumn came and it began to rain. The 3 little pigs started to feel they needed a real home. They talked about what to do, but each decided for himself. The laziest pig said he'd build a straw hut. It'll only take a day, he said. The others disagreed. It's too fragile, they said disapprovingly. But he refused to listen. Not quite so lazy, the second little pig went in search of planks of seasoned wood. Clunk, clunk, clunk. It took him 2 days to nail them together, but the 3rd little pig did not like the wooden house. That's not a way to build a house, he said. It takes time, patience, and hard work to build a house that is strong enough to stand up to wind, rain, and snow, and most of all, protect us from the wolf. The days went by, and the wisest little pig's house took shape brick by brick. From time to time, his brothers visited him, saying with a chuckle, "Why are you working so hard? Why don't you come play?" But the stubborn bricklayer pig said no. The little pigs rushed home in alarm. Along came the wolf, scowling fiercely at the laziest pig's straw hut. "Come out," ordered the wolf, his mouth watering. "I want to speak to you." "I'd rather stay where I am," replied the little pig with a tiny voice. "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," growled the wolf angrily, and puffing out of his chest, he took a very deep breath. Then he blew with all his might right onto the house, and all the straw the silly pig had heaped against some thin poles fell down with a great blast. When he realized that the little pig was escaping, the wolf grew with wild rage. "I hope this house won't fall down. Let's lean against the door so he can't break in," the 2 pigs said. Open up, I want to speak to you." Then the furious wolf braced himself a new effort. He drew a really enormous breath and went, "Whoo!" Luckily, the wisest pig had been watching the scene from the window of his own brick house, and he rapidly opened the door to his fleeing brothers. This house had a much more solid air than the others. He blew once, he blew again, and then for the 3rd time, but all was in vain. "I'm dying of hunger. I'm going to try to get down," and he let himself drop, but the landing was rather hot, too hot. The wolf breathed, and the house did not fall. He fell into a fire that was next door of the straw hut. Never again, never again. The 3 happy pigs danced around and around the yard. They began to sing, tra-la-la-la-la-la. The wicked black wolf never came back. From that terrible day on, the wisest little pig's brothers set to work with a will. So we're going to summarize this. So I guess what you need to do is you need to pick out the key points. So let's talk about the key points in the story.
They built a house.
Yeah, they
Each of them built a house.
out of different materials, right?
Yes.
And then the wolf, he came to the first house, and it was built out of straw, and he blew that one down. So then that pig ran to the house built out of wood, and the wolf came over to that one where the 2 pigs were, and he blew that one down. And then he went to the 3rd house and tried to blow down the brick house, but it didn't work. So that's how you summarize a story. And I want you guys to get into groups now, just groups of 2, And do you guys know the Little Red Riding Hood? Okay, you two are going to summarize Little Red Riding Hood together, and you two are going to summarize, what was it? The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Okay.
So, ready, go.
Claim that there's a wolf in the woods and she keeps the kid. And like there really wasn't, that he just wanted attention. Come closer and come right to the big eye.
Oh, yeah.
Hiding in the woods. And finally, like, one day there was actually a wolf and nobody came.
So, I think that's scary.
That's great summary, Emma.
I reached it.
Okay, now one of you guys tell them how the Little Red Riding Hood goes, and one of you guys tell them how the Boy Who Cried Wolf goes.
Okay, Little Red Riding Hood goes to the forest to her grandmother's house. When she gets to her grandmother's house, her grandmother has already been eaten by the big bad wolf, and is in the bed wearing her grandmother's clothes, and says, so Little Red Riding Hood says, "Grandma, what big eyes you have that I can see you with, and Grandma, what big ears you have that I hear you with, and Grandma, what big teeth you have that I'd eat you with," but Little Red Riding Hood runs away and gets away. It does not get eaten.
Good. Great summarizing. Now you go.
Okay, basically, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, I'm not really fresh on this, but so there's a little boy who runs into the woods, I guess, every day and claims that there's a wolf chasing him, and people come and see what's wrong, and he does it, I guess, maybe like 3 times, and like the 3rd time he cries wolf, nobody comes, and there's actually a wolf that's chasing him in the woods.
Great job, guys. Now you know how to summarize.